What is up, party people? We back with another reflection on that TDV. Root cause. In healthcare, it is in vogue right now to talk about root cause medicine, to get to the root cause of whatever is ailing you instead of treating the symptoms. That phrase, that framework got me thinking, the root cause of our ailments. What does this philosophy say is the root cause to stress, to anger, to fear, to feel like we're struggling and want to avoid that discomfort? What is the root cause of our energy feeling depleted, feeling overwhelmed, feeling incomplete? What is that root cause? You could treat the symptoms, but what is that root cause? And do we treat the symptoms? Whether it's at the bottom of a bottle, whether it's workaholism, whether it is video games, whether it is hitting up what we know is going to be the nth unhealthy meal of the week. We love to treat the symptoms. I know oftentimes when I feel overwhelmed, I'll feel a little bit out of sorts and I'll go for a good run. I might even just do sprints just to really exhaust the lungs. It works for a little bit. But I know, and this is thankfully of 13 years of study, within this philosophy, there's a simple framework. The root cause of all of our ailments is desire. Sometimes it's said as, articulated as attachment. But our attachments, our desires, are the root cause of every type of suffering I've outlined. Sadness, incompleteness, fear. Each one has an anatomy that goes down to desire. Fear is simply defined as a desire to keep what one has. Your life, a loved one, your health. It's a desire to keep what we have. Anger, stress. These are mental agitations caused by unfulfilled desires. As I've said before, one of my favorite mentors in the world, Naval Ravikant, a really sage entrepreneur and advisor to my last company and just friend here in SoCal. He said it best when he said, "Desire's a contract we make with ourselves to be unhappy until we get what we want." It's a contract that we sign with ourselves to be unhappy until we get what we want. Think about that first part. I say it often, and it is as remarkable as the first time I heard it when I just say it out loud. A contract to be unhappy. A contract for fear. A contract for stress. I want to be partner at the law firm. I want to make $250,000 a year because then I could, get all of this kudos from my community. I could get X, Y, Z. I'd be comfortable. If I could just get comfort. I remember when I was living abroad in Cape Town, South Africa, for the last 6 weeks out of the 2 years that I was there, I just counted down every day until I got to be home. And then you get what you want. I arrived home and then I wanted a girlfriend. You get that promotion, and as the adage goes, a raise after 6 weeks just becomes your salary. You sign up for, as you slay one desire, 10 more heads grow. The 10-headed hydra. You keep getting these desires and they breed more desires. You keep getting what you desire and then they breed more desires, but they don't just breed more desires. they breed more ailments, fears, stress, sadness, impatience, anger, contracts to be unhappy. And what I find so fascinating about this deconstruction of these emotions, these forms of suffering, is that this philosophy says it all goes back to desire. As Vedanta 1,000 years later becomes, with many rites, rituals, and a lot of layers to it, culturally becomes Hinduism, you have a philosopher like the Buddha that comes and refines it back to a philosophical, concise, succinct version. And the second noble truth, all suffering comes from desire. The first noble truth is that life is suffering, or sometimes is translated as life is dissatisfactory. You get that job, you get that promotion, you get that girlfriend, you get that house, you get that plane ticket home, and after 2 or 3 days, it's not as satisfying. And the root, according to the Buddha, according to every sage within Advaita Vedanta, is desire. Desire for more. As the Buddhists say, the 10,000 things. As Ramatirtha, the great saint within Vedanta, said, it's the snares of 99. You have 99% of the things that you want, and you think, if I could just get that last thing that's right around the corner, if I could just arrive home in 2 weeks and 2 days and 2 hours, I'll finally feel complete. Only that completeness, that permanent completeness we are chasing in every direction, is not to be. And this philosophy says it's not because it can't be found. It is our natural state. Permanent completeness, according to Vedanta, is our natural state. But what do we do that blinds us from that natural state? That seems so innocuous, that we do over and over and over again. It's like drinking salt water to try to satisfy our thirst. What do? We sign contracts of desire. Contracts to be unhappy. And why is it like salt water? It's because it is a reinforcement to this illusion that what makes us complete is out there. And our completeness is not out there. Within this philosophy, and I've said this before, if you take anything away from this podcast project, this philosophy, let it be this. What you are searching for, what we are all searching for, is not out there. And to put this reinforcement into this notion that it is looking for something where it has never been. The root cause of all of our suffering, according to this philosophy, is as simple, powerful as it is misguided. It's the belief that what completes us is out there. The kingdom of heaven is within you, as Christ said. The belief that it is out there is a belief, a reinforcement of an illusion multiplied by an impossibility. All driven by our perennial ignorance, our astounding disbelief that what we are seeking could actually be within. But think about every moment of satisfaction you've ever had, every even fleeting moment of completeness, of happiness. Where has that ever been but within? So before you sign that next seemingly innocuous contract, that thought flow of, man, I think if I got that, I'd be really happy. Before you reinforce this notion that what is keeping you from feeling complete, from being happy, from being free of suffering, before you reinvest in that notion that what's keeping you from that completeness is outside of you, give some space to this idea, this reflection, that maybe it's not out there. Maybe this philosophical truth that's reiterated in every major tradition, that is older than any human idea, any empire, any business, any marketing campaign that is trying to convince you otherwise. Maybe what is timeless is also what is true. That what we are seeking is not out there. That is today's reflection on the Daily Vedantic. We'll see you next time.